Respected Padma Shri Dr. Pritam Singh, my mentor, Dr. Chaturvedi, in the chair, respected Mr. Dwarkanath and other dignitaries in the chair, my colleagues with whom I worked, people from the industry, students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank Singh and Subrat on my personal behalf for giving me the opportunity to give my views on curriculum in this forum. Management education is closely connected to the global as well as national economy and also with business world. So I would like to present my view on Indian management education and curriculum against the backdrop of changing economic and business scenario. In the years of BC, that is before crisis of 2008, the world enjoyed an unprecedented economic boom that extended from Chicago to Chittagong. Though the boom ran for only 4 years and its foundation was thin, many observers saw it as the beginning of a golden age of globalization. Flows of money and goods and people continued to expand at a record pace, increasing wealth and spreading it as well. Poor nations entered the rank of the rich nations. More citizens escaped poverty and earned a comfortable living. Rising wealth begat political freedom and democracy created greater prosperity. Then came 2008, the year BC gave away to years of AC, that is after crisis, years of after crisis. After the crisis, the expectation of global age gave way to a new reality. Hype for globalization yielded to deglobalization. The number of economic migrants moving from poor countries to rich ones started falling. The flows of money that most directly influenced economic growth, capital flows between nations, and trade in goods and services slowed sharply. Nations started turning inwards, rebuilding barriers to trade, and fencing themselves off from their neighbors. In 2010s, for the first time since 1980s, the global trade has been growing more slowly than global economy. After surging for more than 3 decades, flow of capital reached a historic peak of USD 9 trillion in 2007, then declined to 1.2 trillion or 2% of the global economy, and then which was in 1980s. The transition from BC to AC taught us that any economy, no matter how successful or how broken, is more likely to return to long-term average growth rate for its income class than to remain abnormally hot or cold indefinitely. Never in the history, there has been economic growth without population growth. That the impact of population is very straightforward. A 1 percentage point decline in growth in labor force will trim about 1 percentage point of economic growth. It is not coincidence that since 2005, the growth in the global labor force aged between 15 to 64 has slowed to 1.1% from 1.8% over the previous 5 decades. The implications of this new population threat to the world economy are dark but not uniform across countries. The working age population is already shrinking in Germany and China, is growing but at a very slow pace in the United States, and is still booming in Nigeria, Philippines, India, and few other countries. Slower growth in world population may curb, but won't stop the constant rise and fall of nations of economy. Because economy will find new ways and means to combat increase in dependency ratio. As we can see, the use of robots have enhanced significantly. We are in an era of disruption. 2016, we have seen Brexit, demonetization, and new US President Trump being elected against all odds. Business world needs to adjust and readjust against this phenomena continuously. Management students should be prepared to deal with unstructured situation even more. Students today create their own structure of knowledge of the study discipline and then develop opportunities that enable them to treat knowledge in a competent manner. In today's student-centric approach, the emphasis has moved from traditional instructional-centered teaching towards the support of learning. The construction of learning environment and learning advice has evolved as a central task for the teachers. New age students challenge the currency of faculty. They are not interested in wasting their time in the class where the teacher is not able to add value and not contemporary. The new generation MBA aspiring students believe in 3 E's: explore, experiment, and experience. Students these days have new ideas and are not afraid to explore and experiment. They have a bigger risk-taking appetite, and they are not just interested in classroom learning, but want to go beyond the boundaries and experience. Students' engagement is a big issue as they are high in their aspiration. It is important for a school to assess the aspiration of students while developing a new curriculum. Most schools do not utilize technology fully. Many schools have invested substantially in technology, in modern technology, but unfortunately they do not leverage it. Schools should evolve ways for deep engagement of students and technology. To stay relevant in this unstructured business world, there is a need to introduce courses like design thinking to help students to break away from a fixed way of thinking. We need to engage the students to develop new ideas. One may like to look at the Harvard Field Immersion Experience for Leadership Development. That is a field initiative. Complementing the case method, the field method helps to facilitate the ability to educate leaders who make a difference in this world. Field method provides a cycle of learning that involves learning by thinking, doing, and reflecting. The procedure followed at business school for admission of students need to be changed to bring a greater diversity in the students' intake. We all know that a diverse student cohort would give a broader range of ideas and insight to help a better decision-making and policy development and bring in good business sense. There is also a great need to put in place a good leadership module, as has been emphasized by my previous speaker, Dr. Devi Singh. Institutes should broaden their leadership program and provide a leadership training and development module. A peer-to-peer leadership program where second-year students lead first-year student works effectively. I would like to emphasize the importance of inviting senior Army officials as visiting faculty along with senior corporate leaders. Army officials are great role models who could make a positive impression on young minds. There is also a need to develop exercises and models that would help developing critical thinking ability in students. There is also the need to develop an interdisciplinary program. Business schools within university or IITs should take advantage of the learning from various schools, as has been emphasized by Dr. Devi Singh. Let me tell you, at our NMIMS School of Business Management, we have got 10 schools now. And about 5 schools offer courses which can be taken by other schools too. And you will be surprised to know the design course which is offered by architecture school, the only 40 seats are available, and School of Business Management students try to occupy at least more than half of it. So and many of them take courses from engineering college also. Some take courses from School of Pharmacy. So there is a great need, and I fully echo Dr. Devi Singh that the management system has changed and we should be more interdisciplinary than what we were before. Creation of entrepreneurial environment and to encourage students having entrepreneurial dreams also has become very important. One may like to debate whether the duration of MBA program needs to be truncated from 2 years to 1 year. Some feel that 2 years MBA takes away one valuable year of a student's life, and schools need to look into duration of program. As I also agree that MBA is basically a general management program, and that also, and it is supported by various international accreditation agencies like AMBA or ASCS, very they only see the quality of the general management program. They don't evaluate the programs, which is the electives that we offer. They only evaluate how the general management program, the core subject which has been delivered, how effectively it has been delivered. New generation students have less concentration power. We see that. School may like to experiment in breaking up courses of 30 hours, say, into smaller modules of 10 to 15 hours. Smaller, agile, modular courses may provide better learning to new generation students. Dovetailing judiciously online courses with classroom teaching may enhance learning. Indian schools should introduce more research-based self-study courses, I feel. To sum up, the following important point is placed before this august body to consider in developing new curriculum. 1, reinforcement of leadership module. 2, introduce courses on design thinking, critical analysis, and innovative thinking. 3, emphasize on data analytics and big data analysis courses. Introduce short modular courses by breaking long duration courses. Introduce introduction of basic and advanced level courses that has been practiced in many US-based management institutes. Reduction in the MBA duration from a 2-year to 1 year. Reinforcement of learning through a judicious blend of classroom teaching, experiential learning, and technology learning. I would like to address some question, field some question on this field if there is any. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can I request now, Mr.